What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to JellyGoonTv. Welcome back to all my beautiful viewers and subscribers, to the beautiful JellyGoon squad. Welcome back to my channel, of course. Today we have another reaction video, but before we get to that, I want to say please do watch the ads if you want to support my YouTube, if you want to hit me up with new content, new camera, new computer, new everything like that, so we can make this channel the most best thing that happened in the world of reaction channels, of course, and vlog channels and everything like that. So be massively appreciated if you watch the ads right here, of course. Anyway, if you really want to support and you want to chat with me every single day, and you just want to hit me up, go down in the Discord right here and go down below, click the link, and you will to get this. The link is down below for this video right here. Go over and support this guy. I really want to know this history. So this reaction is to Black Lives Matter, history of racism in Russia. So without further ado, let's see if there's any racism in Russia, because nobody really talks about it. So let me see if that is true, that Russia is so good. But I don't believe it is. I believe it's like any other country, like Denmark, like England, like America. America is just very rooted slavery, you know. But yeah, anyway, without further ado, let's get into this beautiful video and see what Russia has to offer, what this guy knows. So please comment down below if you got something, information that you want to share or anything down below. Please just comment and go. Anyway, let's go.
Russia abolished the chattel slavery in
Really?
the South without ever having practiced it, long before the first shots were fired in the American Civil War.
Really? That's crazy. So they didn't slave
Africans in Russia in 1842. Any black slave who stepped on Russian soil would be declared a free man.
What?
This happened 23 years before slavery was abolished in the United States.
Damn.
And 19 years earlier than serfdom itself was abolished in Russia, which, although not a form of chattel slavery,
that's true,
deprived peasants of their personal freedom. So how has life been for black people in Russia from the olden days till the present?
Let us know, man. What's going on? Damn. Let's see what's going on.
In 2018, at the height of World Cup action, articles appeared in foreign media
Hell on
with
Earth?
headlines like "African migrants in Russia describe hell on earth," and "Football racism still rife in 2018 World Cup host Russia." But when you're talking about a country of 148 million people, making generalizations doesn't really work. For example, we have the dark-skinned Lenin, as the old ladies call him, in a village 120 kilometers from Moscow. If there's anywhere where a black person would not be accepted, it is, one might imagine, the Russian heartland, where the least tolerant to foreigners population.
Yeah, the Slavs.
But no, in 2010, Jean Sagbo from Benin was elected to the Novozavidovsky Council of Deputies, becoming the first and only black politician in Russia.
That's crazy.
He's a favorite son to all the grannies.
Let me pause here. Imagine being the first black person or the first race in the country. That's fucking crazy to have some power. That is amazing, man. That is really messed up, though. Like, seriously, nobody really cares. They like, okay, he got leader skills? Alright, hire him. But what about his race? Well, we not Western countries, so we don't care. We don't care. As long as he could do his job. That's crazy, man. America and all that, they pay too much attention to it. Denmark pays too much attention to it. It's just crazy, man. It shouldn't even be a race. It should just be what are you capable of and what can you do and what is your skill set. You know what I mean? Instead of all this racism shit and all this fucking black and white shit. It's so fucking dumb sometimes. But, of course, there's still racism in the world. I'm not denying that whatsoever. Trust me. There are some racist fucks out there that needs to, you know, get a political change. Let's go.
But for a long time, blacks in Russia were very close to the halls of power. In the 17th to 19th centuries, black people were often servants of the European aristocracy. The most famous black man in pre-revolutionary Russia was Abraham Hannibal. As a child, he was given to Peter the Great as a house servant. Hannibal rose to the rank of major general and had many children. The poet Alexander Pushkin was his great-grandson. Black servants in Russia, as well as in Europe, showed the high status of their master, but in Russia, Africans only served the Tsars exclusively. The official position of Moor of the imperial court was given to the black men in service at the royal palace. The Moors were dressed lavishly. Their daily uniform was a costly 500 rubles. At the time, a man's suit in St. Petersburg cost 6 rubles. In the palace, the Moors of the imperial court were mostly on duty as doormen. But under Emperor Alexander II, they also prepared the king's hookah. So, on average, black people were living to a higher standard than your average Russian peasant in the empire. But in 1917, revolution came and smashed the monarchy. And so, how did that affect black lives in Russia?
Yeah, excellent.
By the 1930s, the number of blacks in Russia began to increase, with engineers from Western European and American companies coming to the USSR from abroad for their work shifts. In Soviet Russia, they received a warm welcome, and the authorities sought to show that they were building a state in which the skin color of its citizens did not matter. After Stalin's death, the Soviet leadership turned its attention to African countries, looking for political allies and markets for its products. The second wave of Africans came to the Soviet Union in the late 1950s. The USSR began attracting African students to study at the new Patrice Lumumba University in Moscow, which is now known as the People's Friendship University of Russia.
What?
The culmination of Soviet-African friendship occurred in 1957, when the 6th World Festival of Youth and Students was held in Moscow. The event was absolutely massive and led to many international couples forming.
That's
This
nice.
coined the term
Good.
Children of the Festival, which became a common way to refer to mixed-race children in the USSR.
Наш.
Наш.
Богатырь. Богатырь наш.
At the time of the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, almost 30,000 African students were studying in Soviet universities.
Wow, nice.
After the
That's
Soviet Union
crazy.
collapsed, the situation for black people in Russia began to deteriorate. The 1990s were dangerous and unstable times, and standing out was definitely not a good thing. However, it must be noted that the Russians themselves turned out to be ethnic minorities and the victims of racism in many of the former Soviet
Exactly,
republics.
that's true.
Here's what an immigrant from the country
This is so
told a
true.
French publication about the situation. Quote, I say this with tears in my eyes. It's not easy to live here. This is the 21st century, but we are still being insulted. I'm ashamed to repeat it. Chimpanzee, Negro, go back to Africa. This is Russia, and no one needs you here. End quote. But that was the early 2000s. Let's talk to some Africans who live here now.
Russian friends I've made here have been really, really good. They're always offering to teach me how to speak better, and are just friendly people. People who
Wow,
even
they
meet in
gorgeous too,
stores.
damn.
Very nice, you know, very nice people. I am actually happy with my life here in Russia. It's been great so far. I have nothing to complain about.
I'm a stranger among my own people. I grew up here. I have a purely Russian mentality. I think like a Russian person, but because of the fact that I don't look Russian, they still let me know that I'm not Russian. I'm used to defending myself.
Let me pause here. I don't think Russia is a look. I think it's a mentality, man. Do you even understand what the Russian mentality is? Russian people they hard people, man. Like, they tough. They a tough nut to crack. They really are. The Russian spirit is fucking crazy. So I don't even think you're a race when you live in Russia. You're not even a race, man. You're just God sent. Like, you have that mentality. Look at the war, man. These guys, man, they had no equipment. They had, like, nothing. They just lost a lot of people, but they never fell down. They're like, no, yeah, we're not going anywhere, brother. This is our country. Seriously. But in Russia, there's a lot of history about the minorities that is there that also got discriminated against. That means that Russia is really all mixed all over the world. So Russia has a lot of things from a lot of countries because Russia did a lot of things in other countries. So you can't really call them white. You can't. Because they have so many Spain, Greek, whatever, there's Slavs is everywhere, man. That's the crazy part. Matter of fact, you can't even say you're 100% something. So if you say you're 100% Russia, it's impossible. It's totally fucking impossible to be 100% Russian and 100% Danish and 100% American. If you're America, you're definitely not 100%. Let's go.
The English word nigger. I'll say something funny in response, like, yeah, you can't see me in the dark, only my teeth and eyes stick out. It's easier for me to be the first to point out the elephant in the room and use dark humor in defense before someone else gets a say.
Yeah, I
and
got you.
say something potentially actually hurtful.
At the end of the 90s and into the 2000s, it was a nightmare. In 2002, 2003, there was a skinhead movement in Mytishy where I was living. My life at the time was oriented purely on survival. It finally fell apart and ended around 2006. It's just that Russians have a different manner and different values.
Yeah.
For example, speaking to somebody rudely is not considered a bad thing. That is, rudeness is celebrated in your culture. And it is clear that if a person is uneducated, it can manifest itself in such ugly ways. But I actually think most people aren't this way. It's just that this minority is ruining everything because it attracts a lot of attention.
That's
Our values
true.
have grown, that we need education, that we need to play sports, get ourselves in order, that we need to learn to negotiate with people and not flex our biceps to get a response. In other words, this is a common culture that comes from movies and music, and it changes people.
Well,
Yeah.
opinions seem to be certainly divided. Some black people are still having a hard time in Russia. But what's important is what Gro Bakum said, that there are positive trends. And his opinion is backed up by statistics.
The number of hate crimes is declining.
I don't believe in
2019 reached a
statistics, I'm
15-year
sorry.
low. And there are fewer and fewer regions where crimes based on racial hatred are recorded.
Human rights activists say that the situation for black migrants has improved, as now members of extremist groups are much more likely to face criminal prosecution.
For comparison, here are the statistics of crimes against family members for 2018.
We live in a world full of...
No, it's not true. They racist.
It's never going to go away. But that doesn't mean that black people in Russia are oppressed. Black people make up less than a fraction of 1% of the population, so reactions to them are usually based on curiosity or surprise and not hatred.
Yeah, exactly.
Today they can live here, serve in the army, help out old ladies, drive a tram, or study at a university. And speaking of studies, here are just a few graduates of the Russian People's Friendship University.
Let me pause there. Look, let me finish this and then I'm gonna talk.
The movie Circus was a defining film of the 1930s, and in it, black actor James Patterson played the role of the son of the main character. But at the time, he was only 2 years old. But despite his age, he became a national celebrity overnight. So, if you're curious about Russian cinema, then please like, share, and comment, because if you do, we'll make a whole video all about it just for you.
Alright, man, no. There's certain people that go up in this race thing, and I totally understand why, because if you've never been oppressed or anything, I understand whatever you want to say, but look, I have a black bus driver. Of course, I pay attention to that he's another race, but it doesn't mean that I discriminate or anything like that. It just means that I analyze and I pay attention to the surroundings around me. It doesn't mean that I'm racist or anything to notice that other guys of another race and from another country and from another culture. It's not really racist. It's just the analytical thing that your brain is doing when something is different than you. You know, it's not really racism. So I have a black bus driver, and I just don't care. I remember one time we were sitting in the bus and some old guy, he was sitting like, I'm like looking at this guy, I'm like, what's wrong? And this guy, he turned to me and he said like, oh, these people, they can't drive. I looked at him and I said, I think he's driving nice, but what you mean about these people? They're black people. I said, don't talk to me. Like, because I don't care if you're black or white. If you can't drive, you can't drive. And if you can't drive, you can't drive. And if you're trying to be rude to other people that haven't really been rude to you, like the bus driver haven't been rude to you, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. I don't like you. You are a fucking disgusting human being. Now, I'm not here gonna preach about, oh, I've never been racist or anything. Of course, I got the thoughts in my head about, like, you gotta watch out for these certain types or whatever. But that's the country that I'm from, the mentality that I got raised up with, that I only saw white people. So I didn't see other cultures. It means that you were scared of other cultures. It doesn't mean that you were racist. It just means that you never got introduced to other cultures and other countries and other races. But people, they like to say that's racism. No fucking brain whatsoever. The IQ is on 20, man, really. But yeah. Anyway, Russia is a beautiful country, but it's beautiful to hear that in history, they actually have, like, the slave. You couldn't be a slave owner, actually, before the Americans, because they, like, you know, the peasant was also, I guess. But this is a crazy video, really inspiring. I hope it's true. Please comment down below of what you think about this video. What do you think about the facts? Do you think Russia was racist back then? Do you think Russia is racist right now? Please let me know in the comments down below. And if you really want to support this video, please do. Hit that like button down below. I was about to say subscribe, but hit that like button down below. So you show support to this video, of course. It'd be massively appreciated. And if you really want to support this channel, we almost at 8,000 subscribers. We just passed 7,000, I guess. Yeah, we did. And we're trying to get to 8,000 subscribers. We're actually trying to get to 10. But if you really want to support this channel, please do. Subscribe and hit that notification button so you get updated on newest videos that come to this channel. And you will become a member of the JellyGoon Squad, of course. Anyway, guys and girls, I'm going to see you until the next one. I love you, man. Peace.